1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, hi everyone. I am Hermes. I'm a scientist at the Australian National Insect Collection at CSRO, and today I will be talking about Volcanoes, cave, and weevils in the Australian outback. This is a collaboration with Rolf Oberprieler, and he won't be talking to you today, but he might be available for the questions at the end. We are based in Canberra, the Australian capital, more precisely here, next to Black Mountain. Also next to the botanical gardens with the Australian National University at the front. It's a really nice place for research. The contribution that I will be talking about today is the description of a new genus of blind weevils that live in lava caves in North Queensland. We describe this new genus in the subfamily Entiminae because they have a very characteristic morphological adaptation of Entiminae, which is the extension of the mandible, like you can see here, that breaks apart, leaving a scar in the mandible. Although it's not universal for Entiminae, it's a really good diagnostic character. We also describe 2 species for that new genus, Undarobius howardi and Undarobius irvini from 2 different caves. The paper was published in Sotaxa very recently. In that paper, we also put an overview of the anophthalmic and microphthalmic Australian fauna, weevil fauna. We ended with a list of 65 species, 20 genera, 8 tribes, and 7 families. Although the numbers are very conservative, we think there are many more species and genera. We didn't include some groups like Cryptorhynchina. We didn't go too far checking what is in this microphthalmic realm in Cryptorhynchina because it was just way too much for us at the moment. We include something that might be interesting for all of you, is how to define microphthalmic in weevils. So we decided that just to put some boundaries, the number of ommatidia when they are counted in the lateral view of the eye might indicate, might help to define what's microphthalmic or not. And in the paper, we were more into detail about that. Here is an illustration, which is missing in the paper, by the way, of what we meant by that number of ommatidia in the eye. Australia have many cave regions, like you can see here in this map. And today we'll be talking about the red bits here, which are caves associated with volcanoes. But there are all range of caves in Australia, so it's a very diverse landscape and with also a very rich fauna and very interesting most of the times. And as you can see here, very beautiful caves. Tasmania is a holy grail for caving in Australia. You have many cave complex systems, very deep, rich fauna. It's a great place for caving. And we also have interest areas like the Nullarbor Plain is the largest block of limestone in the world. And this limestone is on the coast. It's very common to see sinkholes in this limestone. You can see here, for example, a car with a sinkhole, and this sinkhole is the entrance to very deep and large aquifers. While arid on the above the ground, underground is a very different environment. The Australian volcanoes are all spread in the eastern coast of Australia, as you can see here. They form part of the landscape in Australia. You can see here, for example, a town next to a crater, and here another crater in the middle of the field crop. Mount Warning, for example, is a volcano with very extinct volcano with very rich soil, and there is a very exuberant rainforest around it. So the volcanoes are part of the landscape in the Australian ecosystem. How lava caves are formed? Well, they are formed when there is a very slow drain of lava that allows cooling of the outside while there is draining internally of lava. And you can see here what I mean for that. Here, another view of what happens when the volcanic activity is over. It's left with a crater and the lava caves around. This is images of the area where Undarobi was found, the Undara National Park. And you can see here there's craters in the middle of the outback, in dry country. And also you can see here the lava drain surrounded by rainforest vegetation or remnants of rainforest vegetations, and also immersed in this arid dry country. You can see here more detail about that. Like, for example, here the Andara Volcanoes here in this arrow, and all the lava flows. You can follow the lava flow because of the dark green patch of rainforest, remnant of rainforest. You can see here other craters and other volcanoes, but the Undara is the one that was more investigated and having more investigated. Undara is a massive lava tube, really very, very impressive with the rainforest remnant, like I mentioned before. And you can see here the dimensions of the caves. There are many, many caves, like about 200. There are not only interesting insects there, there are also very, they are like they shelter fauna there. Like, for example, this python is waiting for his dinner there. Before we talk more about cave fauna, I just want to briefly mention that the cave fauna have been classified in troglodytes, troglophytes, and troglobites, and this is indicating the level of adaptation to the cave environment. So living in darkness and with very scarce food resources. You have here, for example, a carabidae, probably that live on the ground. And this is another carabidae with strong adaptation for the cave environment. They are wingless, eyeless, long legs, with a very different biology compared to the ground or ground relatives. The Undara lava cave have been well studied, relatively more or less well studied. There was a peak of research in that area in the 80s. It has been very nicely put in one paper recently by Stefan and Francis. And this is a picture of when there was all that activities around scientific expedition in Undara. And so you have here, for example, scientists from the US, from Germany, from Australia, and a very active caving club, the Chilagoy Caving Club, that was probably have a really big role in all these expeditions in the 80s. So these are the Undara cave. You can see here, they are very close to the surface and penetrated by roots. And these abundance of organic material probably create the conditions for the colonization for insects. Their posterior adaptation to the light in darkness. From all the caves in Undara, Bailey's Cave stand out because having so much fauna found in this small cave. It's probably because the cave is protected from the outside by a very narrow entrance. We also facilitate the increase of exponential increase of CO2 concentration. Until now, Bailey's Cave is one of the caves with more troglobites worldwide. It's not the top, but it's among the top 10 or top 20, more or less. And the region where most of the fauna, the area in the cave where most of the fauna have been found is here after the wall in this red circle again. Yeah. This is an example of a plant hopper. Also very similar to plant hopper that have been found in caves in Hawaii, lava caves in Hawaii and Canary Islands. Another few more pictures of Bailey's Cave. We don't have much of Bailey's Cave. All the exploration have been done many, many years ago. We're planning to go there, but we couldn't this year. This is some more example for the Bailey's Cave fauna. These are cockroaches. This is a very interesting scutigeratomorph, which is very, very slow, apparently. So it's not only the pigmented, but also very slow. This is a bait that was used for collecting samples in the cave. And the weevils were found in this bait. This is sweet potato. And there are a bunch of millipedes, all blind and troglobites. This is just an example of how interesting is the fauna. Solanaima have been really well described, well studied by Hawk, or many other collaborators. They found relative above the ground and on the ground in many other locations. It's probably that for weevil will be the same, but we haven't done much research yet. So we fill a gap in the knowledge of the Bailey's Cave fauna by describing these new genus. So for 30 years, it was listed like Curculionidae, new genus, new species. And just an example of an overview of where the fauna was described, just so you have the Ondara volcano here, Taylor Cave here. We describe one species, Irvini, based on one female from this cave. Howardi is we have many specimens of Howardi, and we are described from this. It's probably, the species are really close, and we need better sampling of the area to be able to delimitate this, if there are actually two species or one, or there might be even more species around. The potential of the area is still really for discovering more interesting fauna is big, I think. For example, this is Ondara, where we were focusing, but there is another volcano here, and you can see the very thick green vegetation associated with it. And there are more volcanoes here as well in the south. And all this area need more exploration and work. As part of this work, we found a very interesting new genus of Cryptorhynchina from WA, also in very dry environments, but his distribution is very wide. We have phenotype with one ommatidia, so microphthalmic, or without ommatidia at all. So this is all a work in progress. We also found another new genus of Listeroirini this time from Kangaroo Island. One specimen without legs, half a little bit of antenna left. And we also found Listeroirini in Western Australia, also blind. Might be connected to this genus, but it's all new and undescribed, so we'll be working on that the next years. To help with the sampling, we found a subterranean pitfall trap designed in the UK, and we just copy that trap, and we are expecting to use that for sampling in these cave environments in Australia, or associated caves environments. Well, I think that's all that I have for you today. I hope that you found that interesting. Happy to discuss anything related to this research. Thank you so much for your attention.